Hello everyone, welcome to our next video where we will take your previous year question paper on exception handling as well as file handling. While analyzing your last 3 years paper, both across supplementary as well as your normal uh, scheduled one, what I have observed is you might see two questions, either 5 marks each or 5 marks 4 marks combination. Then you might see another question for 3 marks, and in each of these scenarios you have to write some code. Now that code is pretty simple. You have to kind of capture user input in some way and then write it in file and then read it and do some basic manipulation and either write it back in a file or show it on the console. So this could be barely 8 to 12 line essential code that you have to write, at least in your pen and paper marks version. Though while practicing you can add some additional code, and if you are comfortable, if you write those additional code, you will definitely get some extra marks for that. So let us get started. Today we will take one of your 2022 supplementary paper. We have taken all the questions across file handling as well as exception handling. So this one question, 1 marks. Files are stored in a sequence of bytes. So we have been talking about text, CSV, and those with text format, and then another format that will be binary format. There is nothing called notepad, so option D is entirely irrelevant. Out of A, B, and C, the text and CSV are text based, and B is the correct answer, where for binary your data is written in as a sequence of bytes, while as for your text there is written as sequence of characters. Great, you got 1 mark. Let's move to the next one. So this is assertion and region based thing, and it's actually testing your skill set, which is actually about in what with what transformation data is actually written in file. So assertion A is, if numeric data are to be written to a text file, the data needs to be converted into a string before writing to the file. Yes, we always write strings, right? Even if it is numeric or something else. And the reason is write method. Yes, that takes a string as an argument and write is to the text file. Correct? Both of these are correct. And so the options that you have is A. Both assertion and reasoning are true, and reasoning is the correct explanation of the assertion. So this is the option that we have to choose. The second one is say that region is not the correct explanation, while individually they might be true. So no, we have determined option A is correct one. And then assertion A is true, region is false, or A is false and region is true. So C and D are anyway irrelevant. So option A for us. I've also given you code block where if you see inside try and accept, we are trying to write a numeric data that is initialized to 1 2 3 4. So we have initialized our data here, and then when you try to write it as numeric, you will see that this exception encountered, IO error will be caught. While when you convert this in string, you will see that this will actually go through as expected. So you can see this in execution here, right? Great. So we have covered 2 1 marks questions. Let's move to the next one. Write a method or function count words in Python to read contents from a text file decode.txt, to count and return the occurrence of those words which are having 5 or more characters. So what you can do, you can read it line by line, right? Then since it is an string, you can split it on a space, so you'll get individual word, and then from those words you can simply call the function length, and if it is actually matching the criteria of 5 or more, you store it and return, and you ignore the others one, right? Does that sound like a plan? Let us start uh, with this. So define def, and then you are having count words, right? What you will pass here, you will pass a file name, and with the very first thing what you will do with open, right? File name, in which mode? Append, right? No, read, right? As file, right? So what we can do, right? We can actually uh, you know read our content here using uh, three options, right? Read line, and then read lines. Think through it, which one will be more suitable to you, right? So always practice first, very basic code, because that will help you getting some mastery, right? So what you can do is, as you know, the read lines statement, right? We'll read all the data in one go, right? So that's where you can say that your content, right, could be file, and you are reading all the lines in one go, right? And then what you can do then, for line in content, right? So now we can iterate over individual line, uh, and you know from there on, what we can do, we can look at all the words, right? And by what? By splitting it on white space, right? So, and then you can check, right? Then you can check, you can set up another loop for word in words, right? If length of word, right? If length of word is greater than equal to 5, okay, we can uh, write it. Let's say that you are having some declaration here, right? Long words. So here you can basically append all of these, right? It is actually a lot of looping and all of that. With more practice, you can master those shorthands for writing comprehensive, uh, in same line. But for exam perspective, let us write simple code first, and then you can simply return it, right? So you return long words. Now, since in your exam, and how you can call it, you can call it by um, this, where your file name is decode.txt. Okay. Now, before we execute it, I just wanted to let you know that we have created some multi-line before coming into this video, because that portion was anyway not tested, and that could help us test it, right? So there is some code below, and you can see with open of this, right? You can verify that we are having this line, right? So Nagendra is more than 5 word. Uh, Doing is 5. Videos is 6. So you expect actually, how life robo, all fines or whatever, right? Not to be presented, and more than 5 want to be presented, right? So let us run it through. Uh, Clear? Take a minute. You can also do it more like, long words, and then you can call it here. Okay, so after reading through it, the answer that you will get here is Nagendra doing videos. Okay, what else? So I think this would have been a 3 marks. Pretty fast, you can actually get it done. I'll actually upload it so you can have a look at the overall code that we have used here. Right. Now let's move to the next one. Write a method or function count lines in Python to read lines from a text file content.txt and display those lines which have at the rate of anywhere in the line. Right. So for example, if the content of the line is had an amazing time at the concert last night with at the rate of music lovers crew, excited to announce the launch of our new website G20 at the rate of India. So basically what it is saying is the method functions would display had an amazing time at the concert last night with at the rate of and G20 at the rate of India. Right. So at the rate of at least whatever I am able to see is on two line, right? Music lovers and G20. So at least whatever we are seeing, it is not there. Let us look at what we have done is we have created this content for you, right? Had an amazing time at this, right? And you can test it by calling this part of it, right? So open. Don't worry, these are helper code to save our time, right? Otherwise, you may write some code and not execute. Why we are doing it in a Jupyter notebook is, you can get, a better idea about the correctness of your code, right? So these are the 3 lines that we are having, and in this particular case, excited to be the lecture for. So we might expect only one at the rate of music lovers. So if you want, we can actually add more. So I think the third one is G20 at the rate of India, right? So let us do by, yeah, it is W plus, so let's do it. We don't need, so let us append it, right? So let us append it, and what we will enter here, we will be entering at the rate of G20 India. G20 at the rate of India. Music lovers excited to announce the launch of our new website. Had an amazing time at the concert last night. Oh. Okay. So I think something has been repeated here. So let us enter it. No worry. Right. So our data is here, right? Excited to announce the launch of. Okay. And we can add another one, right? Which will be your G20 at the rate of India. Okay. So we got G20 at the rate of India, and we expect our line to do. So again, how you'll go about it? Let us look at just our own code. It is asking you to write a function count lines, and this will only display those lines. So pretty simple, like what we did in last time, right? Count lines, and to this function you can pass the file name that you have in mind, right? And what it will do, the first thing it will do it with open file name in read mode, right? Because you just want to read through it, and then you can give it name, right? So as file, and then from there on, what you want to do, you want to read all your content, right? What you can do, you can read all your lines. And how you do this? File dot read lines. Very easy, very important to follow with me. That's why I'm spending so much of time doing in front of you, right? So, and then for line in lines, right? Now individually what we can do, we can set up our rule, and here what we have to do in the whole line, right? In the whole line, if this particular character, right? If at the rate of, and then is in line, as you know, now we are having this is in supported here, then we'll say that print line, right? And else anyway we'll continue till all the lines are done, right? So at the rate is in a special character. Let us do it with uh, array name. Okay, we have repeated it, right? Now let us call this count lines. Count lines, and what file we are having? Data dot content dot txt, right? Lines is not defined. Okay, there is a typo here. This is the advantage, right? So you got this music lovers crew and G20 at the rate of India, right? So if you see only 5 lines, right? We are just reading all the lines. Then for each line we are doing a simple check. Got it? Another 3 marks. I think it was part of all. So you get one of these correct. As you see it now, so far we have seen one of these as 3 marks, A or B, and then 2 individual 5 marks. Okay. Okay. Let us move to a more complex one. And we have not done any preparation for this, so we'll write it all of this from scratch. And what this guy is saying is, Mr. Mahesh is a Python programmer working in a school. He has to maintain the records of the sports student. He has created a CSV file named sports.csv to store the details. The structure of sports.csv is a sports ID, competition, and then prize on. So each of these is actually, each of these records are having these three. Where sport ID is an integer, competition is an string, and prize on is one of these gold, silver, and bronze. So for all purpose, for time being, we can assume it to be string. Thou, some, it's another refinement which could test it for given option from enums and all. But let us not complicate with that. Let's write it assuming as a string. Mr. Mahesh wants to write the following user-defined functions: add detail, which will accept the detail of a student and add to a CSV file, sports.csv, and count medal. So let us get started with. So this is the first one where we'll be doing everything together, right? So let us define. It is asking you to create add detail, right? Let us write a small one, right? Add detail. Again, in add detail, we'll give a file name, right? And this is a markdown. Convert it to code, right? Here, what you have to do, you will be actually asked for some user increase, right? So, and then first one is going to be your sport ID. So whenever you are writing some code to deal with user increase, right? Always it's good to accept, right? And this accept could have error like what? There could be IO errors. There could be value error, right? Value error. So in that case, print. You can print the exception that you are getting. or say that entered value is not correct, not of right type. Okay, everything else does not complicate our code. We can everything else we can just say that some error happened, right? Keep it simple, right? Now in try block, what we are going to do, we are having entries like export ID, right? So let us say, let us ask our user, right? Print, right? Press enter to exit or enter the uh, following line or following data, right? For entry. So these are simple messages. No, hard and fast rule. You can actually fix it as per your this, right? And here, if you know, so what you can do here for very first thing, uh, we can say that input, right? Okay. So we'll get it through this, right? Input, and then you can check if prompt input is empty, right? If prompt input is empty, then what we can do, we can break from here, right? And since it is adding in a file name, so we don't have to really worry about it too much, right? And then we have to set up our code in a while loop, right? While true. So this is what that will help you write your code in a way where you can have ways of accepting your data, right? Try. Okay. Try and accept. We have to clear our indentation. Okay. Let us just test if it is open, but before that, right? So with open your file name, right? And in what mode you are going to open it? Read mode, right? As file. So with this entry, we have opened it and we have to write, kind of read this input and then write it. But before we go ahead, let us test it out, right? So while true, okay, there are some error, so we'll just test it out. Expected and intended block, right? Try set print. Yeah, this should be okay. While oh, so we have a lot of things. Hopefully this should be fine. Okay, let us run this also. Let us run this also. You will add this detail in which file it is suggesting, sports.csv. So sports.csv, here we are actually going to write it, right? So write it, add detail, and this is what that will happen. Now otherwise what you will do, so you are having three inputs, right? Sport ID, competition, and prize on. So sport ID, right? Sport ID, again you are going to read, and maybe you will ask your user, right? Please enter sport ID, right? And then you expect it to be of type integer, right? So this will give you sport ID. Then the second one is competition. So you may have competition, competition, and this competition is just simple string, right? So don't need to worry. You say input, uh, please enter competition type, please enter competition type. Okay, then you are having medal, right? Prize on, prize on, prize on is again your input of um, please enter price on from one of what all we are having here: gold, silver, bronze. So gold, silver, or bronze. And then what you can do here, you can have your first level of check here itself, right? If price on, hmm, if price on, right? If price on is if price on not in, right? So we can test it by this gold, silver, or bronze, right? Always you should try and cut paste once you have written some code: gold, silver. So in this case, what you can do, right? You can simply say continue, right? It means that we'll be discarding it, right? We'll not complicate it further, as we have come to uh, you know sports record, right? And what we can do here is we can have a string that is having what all values: percent d. Percent d is used for what we call it, um, percent d is for integer, right? And then you can have percent yes, and then you can have percent yes. So this is to help you get, right, your data in this particular format, right? So you are now having a sport ID, you are now having your competition, right? And then you are having your price on. If all of this is fine, then what we can do, on file, right, we can write, what we'll write, our sports record, right? Let us see if it is all fine. Let us see if it is working. And as usual, after add detail, uh, sports is not defined. Add detail sports.csv. Oh, oh, oh. So these are the real benefit when you write your code, right? So now it is a sports ID. Let us say 101. Okay. Acha, this is okay. Okay, we have to repeat it. Otherwise, little then competition type. College tournament, right? Um, then say we got gold, right? Again, we have to error. What is the error? Except else. Either it is a value error or so let us first enter it out. So we are getting error here, and what kind of this is going to be? We open as a file. Let us test this one. Okay. Price on not in gold, silver, gold. We continue, right? So um, then what we have to do here? It's okay. I mean, spending few more minutes is actually will give you better idea, right? So let us print here. Let us see what kind of values we are getting. So let us print the same thing. Okay. Yeah, we can print the same thing here. We already constructed it, right? So let us call price print, right? Let us call print and then see if our sports record are okay or not. Then let us quickly check it out. This will be this is 101 college tournament, and then we have bronze. 101 college tournament and bronze. So this is correct. So then the issue that we are getting is in writing this to our uh, you know sports one, right? Um, so and what we can expect here? So the one the one that we can expect here is some of our format related issues, right? So we are getting it should have been fine. Okay, but I see actually version that that little different but used by um, this, and see if you are able to kind of get it correctly. What is this? (101) which competition type college tournament, then say we on called still design 101 5. So let us debug this further. Issue that we are getting is only these two lines, right? The sports record is and our output was correct, right? 101 college tournament and gold. Just quickly see if if there are some issue, we'll figure it out. If in case this one is I'm not sure. Let's try it again. 101 college tournament and I think we can let us look at in this particular case. What we are getting is let me copy it in a separate place and try this out. Uh, let us see if there are any issues. We have to stop it. Gold. Yeah, now we are able to add it, right? Okay. What is the second one? We are having, let us say, 202 state level, and then say that we call it silver. There is actually this issue coming, right? Okay, we have to increase something. Sports ID 202 and competition type, say state level, and say that we have got silver, then 303 national level, and say we got bronze. Okay, now we'll have just 3 entry. Maybe let us add one more, city level, right? So 404 city level, and then say that we have got gold. So we'll exit it and we'll just check, right, that what with open sports dot CSV, right, print as file, print file dot read. Hopefully we'll be happy. Okay. And then we can give it as a read file, right? Yes, so we have got all these 4 entries. So your add part is done, right? Your add part is done, and with this, let us look at our count method, how we'll do it, right? So let us say we write it, we find count method, and here in this case, it is saying that read the name of the students. So again, we have to pass, our F name, right? Let us. We will test it out. So this was there. Okay, so we are having count medal. Again, start with open. With open, we'll keep this short. We'll not write a lot of other code. With open, what F name, and this time we have to open it in read format, right? Okay, as file, and then what we want to do. So we will actually read it through line by line, right? So say lines is for uh, lines is file dot read lines, right? And then what we are saying, for line in lines, okay? For line in lines, if so let us quickly see, right, what is happening. Let us print the line here, right? And the idea here is we have another file, right? That is on which file we have to write. So we have to open that as well, right? So we have to open that as well. Target name, right? And target name file has to be in right one. Okay, we can have even an append mode, that is fine. So this one, and this one, right? So say count method, and we are going to pass it exports.csv. Oh, only we have to count each. Don't worry. Right, so we don't need this. Okay. Okay. So count medal and sports.csv. So we are getting all of this, and what we can do, we can um, line split it, right? And then look at 0, 1, 2, the second one, right? Let's first print it and see what kind of output we are getting. Print this one, right? Okay. Let us again see this one. Tournament level. Tournament level. This split has to happen on not this is a CSV file, right? So we have to do it on semicolon. So we have got gold, silver, bronze, and whatever it is, and then you can simply put before starting this file we had gold medal count, right? So gold medal count is 0, and if this one, right, is going to be our gold one, right? Then what will be having? We'll actually increase our gold medal count by 1, and we can actually print, say, a number of gold medals, right? So we can actually print it here. Let us see what happens. What is this? Gold medal. So count medal sports of CSV. Oh, this one error here. Okay. This is the advantage of writing code, right? You'll get complete clarity. So number of gold here is equal to gold y. So might be that you have to trim it. Okay, might be that you have to trim it and then try it out. Trim is not defined. Okay, let's simplify it. So let us say that our medal type is these, right? Okay, our medal type is this. Then let us say that we print our medal type, see what we are getting, and then if our uh, medal type is equal to gold, then we'll do this, right? Okay, gold, silver, silver. Now what is happening here, if trim of these, right? I think that is the only issue that we'll be facing, right? So gold, trim. Gold. What could be wrong here? Let us we'll check it out. So it's mostly return it from here. Let us just take our trim function. Okay. We can see rather than trim, we can say strip. We are actually writing some SQL code and these, right? So all those is happening. Strip and a strip. So now you can see, right? We will actually remove this, and you can actually run this. You will get actually number of dollars 2, which is correct. This then we are running a bit late on this video. There is one more question. What is the purpose of seek and tail? So seek tail is to get the current position, and seek is to get the what is seek? Seek is to offset by certain reference, right? 0, 1, 2. So that's what that you have to explain. And then saying there is a binary file containing the following structure. Write a function search copy that read the content from the file and copies all the data of the commodity type to a file named movie.dat. So this is the one where it is saying that m number, m name. So we have actually created one here, right? Add data, and you can actually see it. It will actually share. We will be sharing this with you. And if you look at so cinema.dat, with what name we have created it? With open cinema. Okay. So we created it to kind of test it, right? Whether data we are having is open. Oh, okay. These are the mistake, right? File. Even the previously written codes are not tested. So you have got this, 101, 102, 103, 104 kind of, and the only difference is you have to open the file in RB mode, right? And since we are actually going to write in a binary format, so we have to use some packages, right? So either you can actually write in a data structure and serialize, deserialize. What we are doing here is we are actually simply pickling it. So we have actually created these values on a similar line and writing it back in this format. So again, if you want to now, only thing it is search, right? So basically, what you can do is, let us say that, search copy, right? So this is the only function that you have to write. Let us quickly try and cover this. Search copy, and say we are given a file name, right? And it is saying that um, this has to be written somewhere else, movie.dat, right? So first thing, we'll actually open, right? Um, we'll open, right? As usual, right? Which file of it? Say fname, right? Um, Bear with me. So we'll open our fname in which mode? Read mode, right? As say source file. Okay, let us do that. It is your source file. Let's call it also name, and then target name, right? And you have another with open, right? um, Target name. Okay, and again, target name has to be written in either right or append, right? As target file. Now can you see some difference here? This has to be binary mode because our data is binary, right? So now what we have to do, we can actually unpickle our data, right? uh, we can unpickle our data from which one. So we can actually simply use our the same pickling code that we have used here, uh, because eventually uh, you know right. So we simply have a while loop here, right? And only thing we have to use is kind of break it out, right? So while true will actually keep reading this data, right? And from here on, we have written our data in data 0, data 1 and data 2, right? So at least let us see how this code is working so far by calling a search copy. So if you call it search copy on cinema dot okay, give me a minute, cinema dot dat, and then we'll be having our uh, second one, which is we have to write it in movie.dat. Okay, movie.dat. Now see what is happening. Search copy is not defined. Yeah, it is not defined. So let's define it. No such file fname cinema.dat. Yes, because we have written it yes name and t name. Right now with this, what happens? Yes name is not there. Right, with open yes name RBHS file. Array, these are values, right? This is real good thing about writing code live, right? You'll be exposed to all of your syntax error, everything. Bin file is not defined. So yes, our file is actually yes. Let us call it yes bin file, and let us call this t bin file. Right? Yes bin file. Now with that, what is happening? Yes. Now we got our data. Right? Now let us say we print our data first element. Then what happens? We are getting all these, right? And then if you see the second element, right, then that is where you'll be having all this, and again as you saw it, right? So um, you have to script it. We learned it hard way in previous one, right? We took a lot of time to figure that out why it is wrong. So now it is fine, right? And then you can compare it against um, comedy, right? So now you can say that if this record is comedy, then what you want to do it? You want to pickle dump, right? Pickle dump what? Our eh, so this will be your target bin file, right? Pickle dot dump. Where is our load? Pickle dot bin file, and where is our dump? So you have to write our data to this bin file. Okay. Looks fine. Looks fine. Yes. Now if you want again check it, right, in your output about your movie.dat, right? You can check it about your movie.dat. You got all those which are comedy, right? You might be seeing this out. So guys, you have completely solved this. I think we are running a bit late on this exercise. There is one very simple exercise about writing, data in items.dat. We have already done it. You have to simply take I code, I description and price and get it done, right? So you have covered 5 marks, 5, 3, 8, 5, 4, 9, 3, 12, 2, 14, 15, right? Great. So yeah, we'll stop it here. If time permit, we'll take another doubt clearing session, and hopefully we'll be able to kind of close that sooner. Thanks for patiently being till end of this. Do like and subscribe, and see you in next video.